Richard Amoroso coming to you again from China in my bluegrass sort of endeavors. So I'm having lots of fun and learning a lot. I was wrong at first about some of the things about where they play in the bow. I see a lot of bluegrass players playing in the middle, in the upper half, and the lower half. It really doesn't matter. What's most important is finding that stroke and that sound, and that's what I'm struggling with, or that I'm really working hard at. I'm getting better, but what I'm really figuring out is that it's the looseness of the right hand that has to be really sort of always working. My hand gets a little bit tight. I think I'm just so conditioned to play classical music and have this sort of constant form of being really sort of not mechanical, but much more sort of square. This is a much more rounded, much more loose kind of, and like I say, a way of playing that I'm not really accustomed to. But what I will say is that it is very good for my classical playing to kind of loosen things up and really get a little bit more sort of just soft in my hands and soft in my arm in a détaché stroke, you know, whether I'm playing something, you know, like a kèchéng etude, or if I'm playing, you know, some other kind of Brahms. There's still kind of that kind of intensity in that in the string playing that's definitely the same in bluegrass. The other thing I'm really working on is being heady with my downbeats on the first beat of each measure and having a more established sort of pulse there. Sometimes you need some syncopation, of course, but there's a certain constant driving force in this music that I have to kind of get a little bit more comfortable with. Yes, there's phrasing, like I said maybe in that last video, but there's a constant driving one that has to kind of come through each and every time that you're playing these different tunes. The last thing I'm going to talk about is just sort of the use of up bow and down bow. With classical music, there's a very distinct purpose to the up bow and down bow, and it's very structured to play downbeats with down bows and upbeats with up bows most of the time, okay? If you're playing, for example, Beethoven 5, okay, you're definitely going to start with three notes, starting with an up bow, and then the last note with the down bow. That is just pure classical music of up and down bows and where they really fit in. With bluegrass, there's lots of times where you're playing your downbeats with up bows, and it kind of throws me, especially if I'm reading and I see a downbeat. I'm just sort of conditioned to want to play a down bow. Even if I'm sight reading, there's just so I see the structure of the music and I see a downbeat, and it's hard for me to resist my urge to play down bows on downbeats and play up bows on upbeats. It's just counterintuitive to me. So this is something that I have to work through, and I have other things I'll share with you and in other videos and these sort of different shuffling bowings that I'm learning. So stay tuned. This is a lot of fun. This is, again, that was a bit of my performance, and here's the rest of the performance of the Squirrel Hunters. Again, still getting there, and I'm still pretty green. So be patient, and hopefully I'll get the hang of it. All right, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you soon.